So when you went into this, were you trying to not necessarily replicate it, or were you trying to stay as true to the context of the book as possible, or kind of put your own spin on its message?
I think put my own spin on it. I think that what I really wanted, I felt like I wanted to keep the spirit of the novel alive, while also sort of like, changing some things that needed to be changed, in my opinion, to sort of like make it more cinematic and sort of also streamline it. If I had tried to shoot everything that was in the book, that would have been an $80 million movie. It would have been 4.5 hours long, and so you need to find ways to keep sort of like the things that make the essence of the book what it is, while also making it a movie that lasts under 2 hours. So. The author of the novel has said he really likes the movie, and that he said the thing that he really likes about it is that it feels like a piece of art unique unto itself. He said that it feels like I took his book as a launching pad and then built something that feels completely different and can stand on its own, and that to me was one of the biggest compliments I've received about the movie.
Yeah, and it's been called the most assured directorial debut in years. Do you think this kind of sets the tone for the work that you're creating in the future, or are you kind of looking at this as like a one standing thing and then kind of moving in different directions?
I don't know. I think that's the fun thing about it is I don't know, there's this Miles Davis quote about art that I really love, and he says sometimes it takes a long time to sound like yourself. And I think that sort of that is how I feel, is like I think I'm still trying to figure out what my style of filmmaking is. I think that this is the first thing I've ever directed. I've never directed a short film or a commercial. Like, this is the first thing I've ever done, and so I think that I'm still trying to figure out what my voice is, what my filmmaking style is going to be. So, I definitely think that the movie that I want to make next is different from this one. I've been working on a western, like a neo-western, sort of like set in contemporary American Southwest. And so there's like some themes that I think would relate to what's in American fiction, but I also kind of want to take a hard right turn and try some new stuff. I think that to me the best stuff is always when you're a little scared and that you might screw it up. I think that's what sort of like on the other side of that fear has always been my greatest successes, and so trying something that feels a little scary that I didn't do this time around is always sort of like what I'm trying to try to do next.
And not necessarily like what message audiences are going to walk away with, but are there any questions that you hope audience start asking after seeing this film?
No, I think that what I hope that audiences start, my dream, the honest to God dream of what I would want from audiences from this film is just I hope people leave the theater and then turn to their friend or whomever they saw the film with and say, like, do you want to go get a drink and talk about what we just saw? To me, the my metric for sort of like art that I really love and is good to me is if I think about it after I've consumed it. And so, am I thinking about a film as soon as I walk out of it and sort of like, do I want to talk about it and engage with other people about it? Am I thinking about a book after I sort of like a week after I've stopped reading it? And so, to me, when people tell me that they sort of leave the movie and that they immediately want to go talk to their friends about what they just saw, that to me that's all I care. But I think that, I don't want to, I think that some of the issues in this movie are ones that I think people are afraid to talk about sometimes. And I think that, we live in such a polarized time in society and, not just in America, around the world. I think that we're never going to sort of like get past that polarization unless we're willing to talk to each other and engage about these kinds of issues and not be afraid to talk about them and not worry that we're going to get in trouble for saying the wrong thing. Like, I just think we all need to sort of show each other a little bit more grace. And, and so I think that, I hope that people come into this movie and laugh a lot and have a really good time. And then when they leave, like, they want to talk about it with a friend and see what they thought. So, if that happens, I'll be pleased.